Hello, sports fans. Welcome to another edition of Vets Plus Sports. I'm your host, Terrell Davis. I'm along with my other co host, Mr. James Miller.
Hello, everyone. How y'all doing this evening? We're going to get into some stuff here. With we got the Stanley Cup, we got the NBA playoff finals, and some other things we're going to get into probably towards the end of this episode of this podcast with college sports, some baseball and some football. But before we get started, Terrell is going to give a shout out to our listeners.
All righty. We want to give a shout out to our listeners from over there in San Jose, California, and our listeners over there in Brussels, Belgium. We thank you. We see you picking it up. Got Germany on the scope, and we have Ashburn, Virginia, Boardman, Washington. We like to thank all our listeners for listening to us.
And we thank everybody that's tuning into this. We enjoy doing this, but we got a little bit to talk to about, and we get involved in because this hour will go pretty quick. And what you want to start out with there, Cool Beans?
Let's go ahead and start off because like we got it tonight. It's Oilers versus Panthers, and I was looking up, doing some research on that before we even got started, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, I'm striking out again." Like I took Luca for Dallas over Boston, and they got blown out. Then I took the Oilers. Then I got to looking, like I said, I don't know nothing about hockey, so I decided, well, let's go see how they did in the regular season. The Oilers played the Panthers twice. The Oilers lost to the Panthers twice. First game they lost 3-5. That's pretty close. It's okay. Second game they lost 5-1.
Wow. So now you got game one starting tonight, the
Yeah.
Stanley Cup Finals at 8 o'clock. So are you going to go with Florida winning the Stanley Cup?
No, I gotta stay true to myself. I picked Edmonton Oilers. I'm gonna go ahead and stay on that train, even though it's going down,
So
because they open up in Florida, and I just don't see it.
So we'll see how that goes and plays out. But if I'm not mistaken, I think I took Florida, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
So we'll see how that pans out and how that plays out. But hopefully, it'll be better than what we was talking about in the NBA Finals. So,
Right. Oh, because that one was a massacre right there with Luca. Luca just wasn't Luca. It's not the same Luca that we watched in the playoffs.
well,
It's
Luca's hurt. You could tell he's with that knee or ankle or whatever he is struggling with. You can see him running up the court limping, even though he still scored over 30 points in that game.
Yep.
Um, he shot pretty decent, but he's got to get the help when there's no help. It's like we talked before in them other episodes and our podcast and everything. If you don't have the help, I mean, unless you drop 60, 70 points, pull a Kobe Bryant or something,
Hmm.
it's going to be hard to win ball games.
It sure is. But I tell you what, it's just like I told you when we remember the day after the game. I said Dallas didn't show up for that game. Those were Timberwolves in Dallas jerseys because that's exactly how they play.
And I watched that game up till about halfway through the fourth quarter, and I messaged you in the third quarter, and I said, "You live by the three, you die by the three."
Hmm.
And Boston was still shooting threes and missing, and that's what allowed Dallas to come within 8 points before Boston started lighting the boards up from the three again. So I mean, like we've mentioned, this bench is deep with Boston with scorers. You just don't have two or three players that score anybody.
Right.
And what was the name? The guy just came back last game.
Porzingis. Man,
And
he killed him. He just first game of the entire playoffs. He ain't played not a game in it because he was hurt. He get in the finals, come off the bench, Or not, technically, he's actually a starter,
Hmm.
and they just had him coming off the bench because he's like his first day back from being hurt. So they just brought him in to limit his time, and that little bit of time that was limited, he still got 20 points.
Yep. So in that game, he had Luca. He shot pretty good from the field, even though I mean they lost 107 to
To
89.
89, yeah.
And let's see what we got here with his. I think he was right around 50% shooting. I got him right here. Yeah, he was. He was 12 of 26 from the field with 30 points. But I mean, but then you got PJ Washington only 5 of 11. Jones was 2 of 9. And then here's a big herder right now. 6 of 19 was Kyrie.
Right,
So,
yeah.
but I mean, when you got Boston lighting up the three from the 3 point line like they did, it is going to be tough to beat them.
Right. But like we was talking about after the day, I'm gonna give you credit because you brought it up. It's actually what you were saying. It's not the fact that they was hitting those threes, it's their defense. Remember, they said because Luca only had one assist, and the reason he only had one assist because you said Boston wasn't double teaming like most people do. They played man to man.
Yeah,
And
and they wasn't trying to double team Luca, and that's what them other teams did. They double team Luca, and he dished it off to the open guy or an alley oop, and Boston stayed with that man to man, and it seemed to work for them. And I'm assuming that's what's going to happen this next
game
watch
two,
game two. Why change it? It's working for you.
yeah. But here's the thing: I'm looking for game two. If I was Boston, Porzingis ain't coming off the bench. Porzingis is going to start.
And he looked good for be off for a month.
Yeah,
Like he didn't miss a beat.
he's going to start. But now, if I was Dallas, assuming that they're going with Boston to play the same type of defense,
Hmm.
that may come back to bite them. Because like I said, Luca's hurt, but you know, certain medicines, certain ice packs, and everything, Luca can get to where he can feel good Sunday. That not double team him might not. That might be a bad idea.
So we'll see what see now. You're looking at Boston in that game. Um, and the thing is, I mean, this is this is why teams that can had more than 2 or 3 players putting points on the board. Jaylen Brown had 22. You had White with 15. Holiday with 12. Horford would had 10, and then Tatum had 16. But then Porzingis had 20 off the bench.
Hmm.
So when it's spread out like that, it is hard to guard any team or beat any team like that.
And not to mention all them people you mentioned. That was like 7 people. All 7 of them could go for 30 points any
They
night.
they could any night. But we'll see how game two goes. I mentioned, and I think you did too, this game going 7 series.
Hmm.
We'll see what happens.
Well, I tell you what, if Dallas wins the next one in Boston, it will be a 7-game series. If Dallas lose it, it may go 7 depending on how bad they lose. If it's another blowout like it is, this is going to be a sweep.
I don't
Maybe 4-1.
I don't see the next game being a blowout. I could be wrong, um, but we'll see what happens. I think Boston may have too much offensive power for them to deal with.
Yeah,
But and you just can't keep letting them shoot those threes. You got to do something. You got to change that up. Um, Make them drive or do something instead of giving them open threes.
exactly.
But they, if I'm not mistaken, let's see here. I think they play tomorrow night, don't they?
Yeah, it's tomorrow. I want to say it's 9 Eastern, but it is Sunday.
Let's see here. It is 8 tomorrow.
Okay.
on ABC, 8 o'clock p.m. So they're playing in Boston again, and we'll see if Dallas can redeem themselves. At least, even if they lose that game, if they only lose it by a point, to make it a ball game.
Yeah.
Um, don't if you get blown out again like that, then it's going to be tough. I think tough on them, but it's all going to roll on how Luca feels.
Hmm.
Jason Kidd, he'll probably make adjustments where they're not double teaming Luca like the other teams will.
Right.
I say Jason Kidd will make the adjustments for Dallas though.
Yeah.
But I think you want to move us moving right along. You want to move on to the women's NBA.
Yes, but before we go right in that section, I forgot something. I need to thank those that are actually here on the live that are watching it with us. And if you can't, for the folks that missed the live, and we thank you for watching the replay. And like I said, we both do this as like out of not habit, but this is fun for us. We do this. We do this all the time, and it's like we don't do this for money or anything, but a little money would help every now and then. So, like I was gonna say, we have a thing where you can just buy us a beer, help us out, help us get the show out to more people, more listeners, and probably do a little bit better with our graphics and things like that. Just buy us a beer.
All right, since we'll be moving on with the women's NBA.
Yeah, I know. Most important thing on the WNBA would be hello Andrea TLC. The most important thing about that women's NBA is they're already drawing up who's going to be playing in the Olympic team, and somebody got snubbed.
And who would that be?
That would be our good friend Caitlyn Clark.
Wow.
But
I mean,
I think this is going to make her better. That's all. That's
that's
all.
all. She still got more years to come.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember back in the '90s, and the Dream Team was put together. You remember who got snubbed, and he's still a little sour about it till today.
You talking about Isaiah Thomas? Was he got
Yes,
snubbed?
yeah, he got snubbed, and
Yeah.
he he blamed Michael Jordan on that for them not picking him, but he got snubbed, and but you
You know,
know,
I was remember that from the Last Dance. I could not tell. I don't. I remember them saying it, but I don't know if Jordan admit to it or not. During the Last Dance, he was talking about it because it was said if they brought Isaiah Thomas on, Mike Jordan wasn't playing,
yep.
and so the coach staff said we gonna keep Jordan and see you, Isaiah. We ain't gonna put. But I don't remember in the Last Dance if he said that was true or not.
Oh man, um, I don't know. We'll I remember seeing that, but we don't know. They say Michael Jordan had something to do with that, but
Hmm.
who knows? Who knows?
That's true.
But Caitlin Clark is she's still got this is her rookie year, um, and I'd say she'll be doing all right down in the future with the other teams that she'll be on, because once they see that the money she's bringing into that league,
Hmm.
and I just seen there, what was it? Angel Reese was in DC on Thursday, and they had
Right.
announced attendance of 10,000 fans, followed up by Caitlin Clark Friday, and they had 20,000 fans.
Exactly.
So when it comes to any sport, it's all about the money. Who's bringing the money?
Exactly.
So,
Here's my thing. The women's NBA has been around. I don't know. Can't count how many years. About 27 years. It started sometime in the 90s. I can't remember. I want to say it's well. It's at least 25 years. We'll say that. In 25 years, the um the record that Caitlin set just a couple of days ago, well, I think it was just Friday. She set a record. She is the only person in the women's NBA that has scored over 200 points in her first 12 games.
wow.
and this has been going on for 25 plus years. She's the only person. First 12 games, 200 points, over 200 points.
That is and to be left off. I mean, did they say if she was disappointed she wasn't on it?
Nah, as far as I just got that for that was a Google update that came to my phone earlier this morning that said she's being snubbed, that she's not gonna make the team. So I don't know who, whether the coaching staff was picking that together or if it's somebody. Now I want to say that woman that she got in the I can't remember what her last name was, but she plays for the Chicago Sky. I want to say she did make the team, and
Mm-hmm.
it might be a one of them things like they said in Last Dance. Jordan, like if you bring him, I'm not playing. So
Yeah, I mean, and that's sad. You can't get players together and to be able to come together and to be able to play, for the country and whatever.
right,
But and Fever won the other night. I mean, you was talking. They beat what was it, Washington? Yeah, they beat them
yeah, the Mystics.
Mystics. So it was they ain't won a game, but that's still a win for the Fever. So that team's still young. The Fever's still young. They'll have to get some more players in to help
Mhm.
Caitlyn in the long run if they plan on doing anything.
Right. First things first. I don't know. I've become ever since we started. I've become the enemy because I am on that bandwagon to fire the coaching staff. That is the first thing first. Fire the coaching staff. They got her own. Caitlyn Clark got her own teammates making fun of her and posting tweets and stuff about her. And I'm like, she's on your team. What are you doing? That person would be gone, but that person's still on the team. So if you're gonna keep that person on the team, you got to get rid of the coach because the coach should have nipped all that shit in the bud right
Yeah,
then.
you got to put a stop to that, and that's like when it comes like talking about the NFL. A lot of coaches that that we don't see, us as fans and the news media don't see, coaches will go ahead and put a nip that in the bud real fast in the NFL.
Hmm.
Because when you start having that friction between the team, I mean, you're not going to jail. You're not going to win.
Yep.
So yeah, you can't be having that and everything else. So I mean, when you get together to play on the court or play on the field, I mean, you got to put it out, things outside. You got to put aside, come together to play
Yep.
because that's their job. They're getting paid to do that. I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, I mean that's your job. Even like where we work at. I mean, if we don't like somebody, you still come together to do your job.
Exactly.
So yeah, they're going to have to take care of that, get that straightened out. So let's see here, moving right along. What do you want to hit on next?
Uh, we're gonna finish up on the college football. Do we got anything going on in Major League Baseball? I know I posted that the Phillies was in their leading their division, the Dodgers was leading their division, but those are all clips we did last week, last Saturday. So I wonder if it could all that could have changed.
Well, today, right now, on the scoreboard, the Phillies won. They beat the Mets. That's a divisional game. Phillies won 7-2. The Brewers beat the Tigers 5-4. And let's see what else. I know where I'm a Braves fan. It came to my phone. Let me see all the scores here. I think the Braves lost, and they did. The Nationals beat them uh, 7-3. So, when you're talking about division wise, um, that's all division games I just mentioned with the Mets
Hmm.
and the Braves and the Phillies. So that puts the Phillies now, listen to this, 9 games up on the Braves in that division at 45-19. And the Atlanta Braves are 35-27, which they still got 7 games ahead of the Nationals, who just beat them.
Right.
Um, but the Braves not having their key player out for the year, they're going to have to come together do figure something out as far as production wise goes.
Right. Yeah. It's like I hate that he went down, but we got to do like Coach Thibodeau said with the Knicks. Next man up.
That's it. Yankees are still leading their division by 3 games. They're 45-20 over the Baltimore Orioles. Um, and then Indians in the Central are leading their division by 2.5 games, and the Mariners are 5 games up on the Rangers. And then going to the Central there in the National League, the Brewers are leading that division over the Reds by 6.5 games. The Brewers are 38-26, and the Dodgers are 40-25, and they've got an 8-game lead over the Padres and the Giants.
Oh wow,
So
because I posted that one too a few days ago when we was talking about the Dodgers was leading their division and the Phillies leading their division. And here it is a week later, still leading the division.
still leading the division, and I'd say they will be because they got right now for at least a few weeks. Because Dodgers, like I said, they got an 8-game lead, and the Phillies have a 9-game lead, and they're going to have to turn that around.
Hmm.
The But that extra wild card game helps out when it comes now to Major League Baseball.
Right.
And let's see who our home run leader is still right now. You got home runs right now. It's Aaron Judd. He's got 21 home runs, and Hernandez from Baltimore is right behind him with 20. And Tucker from Houston's got 19, and Ozuno from Atlanta, he's got 18. Um, and as far as let's see here with our RBIs leaders, and that's runs batted in right now. You got Jose Ramirez with 60 for Cleveland, which that's a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
for this time of year. You got Marcel for the Braves, Ozuna, he's got 55. Aaron Judd, 55. And Juan Soto from the New York Yankees has got 53. So that's just a few things. Everybody with the home runs and the runs batted in. And as far as pitching goes, you got uh, Ranger from Philly. He's got 10 wins. Seth Lugo from Kansas City's got 9. Aaron Nola has got 8. And Mitch Keller from Pittsburgh has got 8. And Chris Sale from Atlanta's got 8. So that's some of your top pitchers with their winning percentages. And then their ERA, earned run average, we'll run down it. Um, Ranger from the Phillies, I mean, he's got 1.81 ERA. Luis Gill has got 1.82 ERA. Lopez from Atlanta, 1.85. You got Houck from Boston, 1.91. And Skubal from Detroit has a 1.97 ERA. So that is a rundown, just a little bit on the stats for the MLB. That season is long. They'll be coming up in July here shortly with All Stars about the middle of July. They'll have All Star break, and then they'll be starting their second half.
Right.
Maybe the Braves can get some transitions and get some people in that help out while their key players out for the rest of the season. Is there anything, we talk about, there's not a whole lot still going on with the NFL.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on anything that was really, really that was a breakout that came. Other oh wait, no, we do have something we got to put out. Me and you talked about it a few days ago when we was at work, but we didn't let the fans know. It's like Chicago and the Caleb Williams saga might be over before it even began. Because as of this date, because nothing came in on my phone, he is still unsigned.
They hadn't uh, they hadn't signed him, and I ain't seen nothing quite yet that they. He said he was still unsigned rookie.
Hmm.
And as we was getting on, I seen a thing there popped up. They were, I guess, a live press conference to him talking having a slow start, which for you and I is no surprise.
Exactly.
But and but I guess to the news media in Chicago, I guess it's a surprise. So I don't know. But and the thing is, I mean, the two of his biggest games this past year in college, when he had pressure, he did not do good. So, and you come to the NFL, there's going to be pressure every week.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't care who you're playing. Um, if you're playing the Carolina Panthers, who's only got 3 wins, it's you're still going to have pressure. It's the NFL.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see what happens with if they, which I'd say they'll figure out something. Now I don't know if it's on Caleb's end. I ain't seen nothing, or if it's on Chicago's end. So, knowing Caleb, he's probably asking 3 times more than what they're supposed to give him. Knowing him,
Right. Exactly. Especially because he still has no well, I'm gonna say no. I'm not gonna say he doesn't have an agent. He doesn't have a professional agent, somebody that actually does the job. I think his dad is still working his contract, and that's right there problematic for me. It's just like I'm not a doctor, but I'm not gonna go in and try to do open heart surgery on somebody just because I seen it on a YouTube video and thought I can do it.
they should have learned from that last year with Lamar Jackson.
That's the thing. I think
I
that's what
mean,
they're going off of because Lamar Jackson, his mom actually did get him a decent contract.
well, the
'Cause-
thing is, teams cannot talk to if they don't have an agent, you don't have a license. Actual teams cannot talk to her. So they had to go through Lamar. So on behind scenes, if you don't have somebody negotiating a deal with you, you're not going to get a deal done.
Oh,
So yeah, so even with his dad, but not being unless he's got a license, which I doubt he does, unless he goes
I
and gets
doubt it.
one, he can't negotiate deals. Like if Williams goes somewhere else, because teams will not talk to a family member who is an agent,
Yeah,
considered an agent. So
here's my thing. He can't go anywhere else. Not after that practice bungle and throw 7 interceptions. He can't go anywhere else. Nobody wants him.
so I can't wait till the season kicks off
I can't either.
because I'm gonna be watching my Chiefs and I'm gonna watch to see how he does. I mean, you're just gonna be like Stephen A. Smith sitting back laughing.
Exactly.
It's like we told you so. Um, yeah, I think that's about it as what I can tell in the NFL. There ain't a whole lot going on as of right now. Um, but now here's my thing. They get how many? They play two. Is it 2 or 4 preseason games?
I think this year is still
4,
going to be four.
4.
Next year they're going to cut it to two and have 18 regular season and 2 buys.
Well, they got. Let's see here. On August 1st, you got the Bears and the Texans kicking off the preseason. I'm just curious if they're going to have Caleb Williams starting in that.
I don't unless things change because we got still got a good gap between now and August. He can get better. He has the here's the thing. He does have the skill set to where he can actually get better. But does he have the mindset? That's the problem. It's like the mind when he gets up in the back. No, he's arrogant. He
Yep.
doesn't want to listen. He knows everything. And that's the part is the actual reason why I thought he threw those 7 interceptions.
His biggest enemy is himself.
Exactly.
Himself. You know, it's sometimes it's better to take that piece of humble pie and move on. But
Exactly.
I don't think he's that type of person. I mean, but we'll see what happens. I think if I can, I will watch that preseason game to see if they
Oh,
do put him
I
in.
hope it's aired.
Here, now they're going to have to play him some because if not, you're throwing him into the wolves coming starting the season out and not playing in it.
Yep.
So, and if they don't play him at least half of the preseason, you could definitely chalk up a lost first game
Yep.
because that'll be him just getting new to the system and getting his feet wet, sort of say. But it's gonna be I'm gonna keep my eye on that. That's not too far off, just a little over a month. Well, about a month and a half, say.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be fun to watch. So now we had some people that listened in. You said they commented or mentioned.
They were on the TikTok account we have, and we mentioned that Notre Dame was number 5, and that was on the preceding rating. Those ratings have changed since then, but yeah, because he was shocked that Notre Dame was number 5 because their starting quarterback, they're going to be just like USC. Their starting quarterback is not there because I think his name is Sam. I don't know the last name, but he's also got drafted by the Commanders. So we'll have a little quarterback battle between uh, Jaden Daniels and Sam, whatever his last name. I cannot remember his last name. And the main thing they was talking about him is because he looks like Keanu Reeves and everything. So,
Well, now you've got see college goes by the AP Press, Associated Press with rankings.
mhm.
I don't know if they've. This is what we got up here is a way too early 2004 AP rankings. The official one I guess, may come up a little bit later, right before kickoff and everything.
Mhm.
But this right here, when I got up, it has the Georgia Bulldogs at number 1. Um, you got the Texans Longhorns at number 2, and the thing is with Texas, they've got a quarterback who hasn't played yet, and I'm curious of watching him play.
Mhm.
I think since he's done been under the belt for 2 years, which I still don't think he'll be starting this year. So because they still got a quarterback, but when he comes in next year, look out, and that is Arch Manning. I think he will light it up. Um,
Yeah.
and for Georgia and Alabama, look out. Um, so I think once he comes in, I think he's going to be a pretty good quarterback. He may be better than his two uncles. We'll see. And you got to think Peyton, man. Peyton was a smart quarterback. Eli, I mean, Eli put up some numbers. So I'm just curious how that comes out with the Longhorns on down the road with Manning.
Yeah, but here's the thing, because Arch is Cooper's kid. Cooper didn't play in the
He got hurt. He got
yeah, he
hurt.
got hurt, so he didn't get an NFL career. But it goes to show you, it's like, okay, Bob Greasy was good, but Brian Greasy wasn't that good. And it's like, who else fathered into to the league? I was thinking about. Oh, I had a couple of them in my mind when I was talking about it. But it was like the dad is good, but the offspring is not that good.
Well,
Uh,
you can
Tony
look at
Dorsett had his son playing, but then again, Tony Dorsett's son was a free safety, where Tony Dorsett was a running back. So
well,
that,
you look at Randy Moss and his son.
yeah,
So his son I think was a tight end, more of a tight end. They used him as a wideout some, but I think he's up in what? He's either in Europe or in Canada league, one of the two.
unless I
So
thought it was in Europe.
Europe, it may be Europe. But so yeah, it just and that's the thing. That's the reason why Michael Jordan said he didn't want his kids playing in the NBA because they knew that they was going to be measured to him.
Yeah,
And when you have an elite athlete, it don't matter what sport, and you got a child coming into it, they're always going to be measured up to you, no matter what. Um, so I mean, and you look at NASCAR, you had Dale Earnhardt and senior and junior,
hmm
and junior was nowhere near the racer his dad was. So, and I mean that's okay. I mean, people. I mean, he was junior was still a good racer, but he wasn't his dad.
exactly.
So, but you always have that. And then here we'll get down with these other rankings. You've got Oregon at 3 on this one, Alabama at 4, Ohio at 5, Michigan at 6, Ole Miss 7, Missouri 8, Arizona 9, Notre Dame 10, Washington 11, Penn State 12, Utah 13, LSU 14, Oklahoma 15, Florida State 16, Tennessee Vols are 17, Oklahoma State 18, Clemson Tigers 19, and NC State 20, K State 21, Louisville 22, Kansas Jayhawks 23, SMU 24, and rounding up to 25 is the Iowa Hawkeyes. Now, like I said, this is the one I've got up. There's other preseason rankings right now. It's going to be a little bit different. I think you had one that had USC at number 25.
Yeah, that was the ESPN one that had USC at 25, but I was like, they're not gonna be 25 for long. They're gonna be pretty soon unranked. I mean, because I was looking at their schedule. I pulled up their schedule, and out of unlike Utah, remember when I was talking about Utah's schedule was a weak schedule, which they only had. I think they played one team that's ranked. That's it. No, they played two because they had Arizona was in there and Oklahoma State.
And
So
and I and like I said, these are early, right? As of right now, these
mhm,
rankings, they may change a little bit. And the thing is, once you get past 15 on down through there, I mean, you could put either one of them either where you could plug them in if you wanted to anywhere, even a couple outside of 25. Um, but I'm looking for that to change again, coming closer to the time for
mhm.
kickoff. And mentioning kickoff, I can't remember. I think we mentioned it last episode. I'm not for sure. Um, you know, being a West Virginia fan and everything, I was all excited for the kickoff on August 31st. You know, when West Virginia plays Penn State, assuming like the majority of the fans, we thought that was going to be a nighttime kickoff, which is a noon kickoff. And they said the reason being for Fox is going to be there. Fox has their own crew there, kind of like game day, so they're going to be there. So that's going to be a noon kickoff.
Mhm.
And I was looking at Fox's schedule. They don't have a late kickoff on Saturday, so you got some big games. It's going to be kicked off at noon. To me, it would be better to be a nighttime kickoff. You got, I think, who was it? Did I tell you? I think it was the Buckeyes. Was the Buckeyes going to Wisconsin at
Yeah,
night?
yeah.
It's a noon kickoff.
It's a noon game.
So I mean, I was hoping for a nighttime game in Morgantown because the stadium seems louder at night than it does in the daytime. So
Right. And that's not a scheduling with college football. It wasn't the mistake is not on their end. The mistake
no,
is actually on Fox's end.
yeah,
Fox's has scheduled it for them to do noon games because they
they
don't
don't
have
have
a
it
new an
open.
evening slot.
Yeah,
And
they
they don't
don't have.
have an evening slot because somebody, the program managers, don't know what the heck they're doing. And that's good for Fox because, they really don't they have a history of not knowing what they're doing. Fox is the same company that gave George Lucas all the merchandising rights to Star Wars because they didn't think it was going to make any money. They canceled Family Guy twice.
And the thing is, I'm gonna be at that game August 31st. A noon kickoff there in Morgantown is hot in August. It's gonna be like 90 degrees.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a hot game. And so, but that's why I wanted to mention the reason being with that noon kickoff was because of Fox, and it's because Fox does not have, they don't have those the slots for the evening time, I guess, as of right now. So, and we'll mention here. I'm trying to find it and bring it up here. Okay, right there we go. We got some college baseball going on. And last night, the Mountaineers were playing North Carolina in Chapel Hill, They were winning going into the ninth inning, in the bottom of the ninth inning, 6-5, I think it was, and they end up losing on a walk-off home run, 3-1. So the Tar Heels take a game one out of three there in Chapel Hill, and here shortly, here in 20 minutes at 8 o'clock, they'll be starting game two of that. If North Carolina wins, they advance, and the Mountaineers go home. If the Mountaineers win, then they'll play again tomorrow to see whoever wins that game to move on in this super regional.
I
But
think it'll go for all three games.
I hope so. I mean, now West Virginia is the team, they can make a run at it. They've got the weapons, they've got the offensive power, they've got the bats, they got one of the best players in the country with JJ Wentworth. So who missed, I think it was like 2/3 of the season or so because he was hurt. So if they get the bats together, get the pitching together, they can make a run at it. But hopefully they can pull it off here tonight. Once we get done with this, I'm going to try to watch that because this is the first time that the Mountaineers in baseball have been to the Super Regional in college baseball.
Oh, okay.
So it'd be nice to see them at least get a little run into it and knock off the
Hmm.
Tar Heels. Tar Heels are always a favorite. They're there every year. I mean, that's what they're known for, baseball and basketball. Um, so, but we'll see what happens tonight with it. And um, which you and also you got college softball going on as well. So there's a lot to be looking forward to tonight and everything else. Stanley Cup, still got college baseball, college softball that is going on. But yeah, I think that's about it as we're running down through everything tonight. Like I said, there wasn't a whole lot with the NFL that is
Yeah.
going on. But let's see if I can't get some college baseball updates, some scores here. If you got anything right now.
No, the only thing I got is I broke down two schedules for the college football. I really took a look at Notre Dame. Like I said, I was talking with the guy on our TikTok account, and I talked to him about because it's like he was really surprised that Notre Dame was fifth. Well, they were fifth that week, but now this week Notre Dame is 10th. But going from their schedule, it looks like they may be in a position where they can get knocked back.
And this thing, like I said, this is a early uh, ranking. It's going to change, but and it's depending on which website you go to. You
True.
got CBS Sports. Theirs is different from ESPN. You've got the coaches polls. You got the Associated Press, and everything runs by the NCAA. Comes off of the AP, Associated Press
Hmm.
rankings. So that will probably be more accurately getting to August. They'll have it more set. Mine, some's going to change a little bit, and some's going to jump. But like I said, when we read that off, I'm not for sure which one we read that off of. I didn't know they was all varying that much. A lot of them.
Yeah. I think it's probably the ESPN one because the one I got off for ESPN pretty much matched up with what we had said last week.
So I got the college baseball scores up, and right now Tennessee, who was number one, lost today to Evansville, 10-8, which ties that series up 1-1.
Okay.
So they'll be playing tomorrow. So maybe the Mountaineers can come and pull one off today,
And
this evening, tie that up,
have a
and go
tomorrow
tomorrow.
game.
Texas A&M, right? They beat Oregon 10-6, so they've got game one there. Um, and then Florida beat Clemson 10-7 for game one. And then NC State, you ready for this?
Okay.
They played number 7 Georgia. They beat them 18-1.
Oh my goodness, they stomped them.
18-1. That's a pounding.
Yeah. Oh,
So, and then right now, and then this one right here, Florida State beat UConn to win that series 2-0. They beat them 10-8. It was final in 12 innings. That went 12. And then Virginia knocked off Kansas State. They beat them 10-4 to win that best of three series. So you got some teams that's moving on. Hopefully, my Mountaineers can win tonight, play again tomorrow.
right.
Um, and then right now, you've got Kentucky, number 2 Kentucky, playing Oregon State. Um, this is game one of this best of three. Kentucky is winning 3-0 right now in the bottom of the sixth over Oregon State. So that's what we got there with college baseball, and we'll see if the Mountaineers can pull one off. It'd be nice.
Right. Yeah. Especially since they ain't never been there. Like,
At least get one win underneath the belt anyway.
yeah.
And then hopefully when we're doing our next recording, I can tell you they won that series and moved on.
Yep. That, yeah, because we'll record that Monday night. It'll be after, you know.
And I think before we get off here, we talked about it at work. Some of the guys we work with, they mentioned, and we talked about trying to in October maybe go to a Morgantown game, a football game up there in Morgantown.
Right.
If we can pull it off, that'd be nice. It'd be fun, I think, to go up there and get some of the guys you work with to go, and maybe I can get you wearing some blue and gold. But yeah, that'd be fun to do. But we're getting close here, wrapping it up. You got anything else, Terrell?
Oh no, I don't have. We pretty much covered everything we wanted to talk about. Caitlyn Clark getting snubbed. Went over the rankings in college football. Was nothing really in the NFL. Dallas made me look bad. Made me look like I don't know what the heck I'm doing. So I'm like, hopefully, hopefully Edmonton don't do it also. I'm like, hey, we might not listen to that guy. Let's go with everything he's saying. Let's do the opposite.
Yeah, man. Well, that's kind of like Charles Barkley, ain't it? They do the opposite of him because whatever he says,
Yeah,
it's the
exactly.
opposite. But all right, yeah, like we always do, we end our episodes. You know, for our veterans out there, anybody that's got any thoughts of hurting themselves or taking their life, there's always a number you can dial,
Hmm.
and that is on
The
the
quick
bottom of.
number is 988.
Well, you got the crisis hotline, 1-800-273-8255. Always keep in contact with your friends, your battle buddies. If you notice anything it's out of the norm, talk to them, contact somebody. And like I always say, you can go to the VA Medical Center. They've always got somebody on staff waiting on call on the weekends or if it's late at night. There'll be people there to assist and to
Hmm.
help you out.
You see something, say something.
That's
Even though
it.
that's a terrorism thing, they would say when you say you see something, say something. But it works in this situation too. You see something, say something.
And like Cool Beans and I have always said, it is better to get it out, talk to somebody
Yes.
instead of holding it in. But I guess that'll be it. If you don't have anything else, Terrell.
I'm good.
All right, y'all have a good night. You stay safe, and we'll see you next time.